He was the king of pop, an icon the world adored. But behind the legendary dance moves and sparkling glove was a story of deep loneliness and pain. To uncover the true story of his incredible life and tragic end, subscribe now and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a moment. Today, we are starting a very special journey together. We are going to explore the life of one of the greatest and most unforgettable entertainers the world has ever known, Michael Jackson. This is a story about his incredible life from his earliest childhood dreams in a small American town all the way to the amazing mark he left on the entire world. So find a comfortable place, relax, and let's begin this story so you won't miss a single thing. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on a summer day, August 29, 1958. His story began in a small, simple house in a town called Gary, in the state of Indiana in the United States. He was the 8th child in a very large family. Can you imagine that he had 8 brothers and sisters for a total of 9 kids living and growing up together? His parents were Joseph Jackson, who everyone called Joe, and Catherine Jackson. Life in Gary was not always easy. Joe, his father, worked in a steel mill, which was very hard physical work that made him tired and serious. But he also had music inside him. He played the guitar in his free time. Catherine, his mother, had a softer love for music. She had a beautiful voice and loved to sing, and she also played the piano. So from the very beginning, Michael grew up in a house that was filled with sound, filled with music. He had 5 brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Randy, and 3 sisters, Rebby, Latoya, and Janet. Music was the air they breathed. His mother, Catherine, would sing gentle songs, and his father, Joe, encouraged his children to practice music every single day. Joe saw music not just as a joy, but as a way to a better life. He was very strict about it. Sometimes people felt he was too strict. He wanted his children to succeed more than anything, and because of this, he pushed them very, very hard. Sometimes his way of pushing his children felt harsh, and this strictness made Michael become very serious about his dreams even from a very young age. He learned that performance had to be perfect. Michael's big journey into music. His big break started when he was 6 years old. It was then that his father, Joe, truly noticed how talented his young son was. Michael wasn't just a good singer, he was an amazing singer, and he could dance with a rhythm that seemed impossible for a little boy. Joe had already started a band with Michael's older brothers. At first it was called the Jackson Brothers. But when he saw Michael's incredible talent, he made a decision that would change everything. He decided to make Michael the lead singer of the group, even though he was one of the youngest. So in 1964, the group changed its name to the Jackson 5. Michael's voice was so strong and full of emotion, and he had an amazing presence on stage. Even as a young boy, he moved with a special energy. He danced, he sang, and he entertained with so much passion that people in the audience could not believe he was only a child. It was like magic. He had a special way of connecting with everyone watching him, and his performances left them in awe, completely amazed. The Jackson 5 started by performing in small clubs and at local talent shows. They quickly became very popular in their area. They practiced every single day, often for many hours after school. Joe would sit and watch them, telling them, "Do it again, do it better." They performed all over their home state of Indiana and the next state over Illinois. Every show they did helped them to grow to become more confident and more professional. It wasn't long before their talent started to catch the attention of important music producers. In 1968, the Jackson 5 got a chance that would change their lives forever. They had an audition for Berry Gordy. He was the head of Motown Records, a very famous music company in Detroit known for discovering huge stars. Imagine that moment. The five brothers standing in front of this powerful man, ready to sing their hearts out. Gordy was incredibly impressed. He saw the group's amazing energy, their perfect harmonies, and of course he saw Michael's unbelievable talent as a singer and a dancer. He knew he had found something special. Very soon after that, the Jackson 5 signed a contract with Motown Records, and their lives would never ever be the same again. Under the guidance of Motown, the Jacksons recorded their first single. It was called I Want You Back, and it was released in 1969. The moment that song was played on the radio, it was like a firework exploding. It quickly became a huge hit, climbing all the way to #1 on the music charts. Imagine being Michael Jackson, just 11 years old, and hearing your own voice singing on the radio, in cars, in stores everywhere. It must have felt like a dream come true. Their next few songs, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There, were all enormous hits too. The Jackson 5 became famous all over the United States, and soon their music was traveling around the world. People everywhere loved their happy music, their incredible dancing, and especially young Michael. He was the one who stole the show, the little boy with the powerful voice and a charisma that was bigger than his small body. Even though Michael was now a big star, life was not always easy. In fact, being famous came with a lot of challenges. Michael had to work incredibly hard. There were times when he was performing shows and recording new songs almost every single day. He didn't have a normal childhood. He couldn't go to a regular school like other kids, and he didn't have time to just play with friends in his neighborhood. His life was always about practicing performing or traveling with his family. He also felt a lot of pressure on his small shoulders. His father, Joe, was determined that the Jackson 5 would stay successful, so he pushed them constantly to always be the best, to never make a mistake. This pressure made Michael very serious, even though he was so young. While he truly loved performing for people, he has said that he sometimes felt very lonely. His life was so different from other kids his age, and it could feel isolating. Even as a child, while he was enjoying the success, Michael dreamed of doing something even bigger. He loved being a part of the Jackson 5. He loved his brothers, but he also had a secret wish to make his own music. He would watch other artists like the incredible James Brown and the genius Stevie Wonder, and they inspired him to reach for more, to find his own voice. By the time he was a teenager, Michael started thinking more and more about a solo career. He wanted to write and sing songs that reflected his own private thoughts and his own deep emotions, but he wasn't sure if it would be possible. His family's group was so popular, and the idea of breaking away from that seemed scary and very difficult. As he moved through his teenage years, Michael Jackson was becoming restless. He was growing up, and his creative ideas were growing with him. He loved the Jackson 5, the group that made him famous, but he knew deep inside that he wanted to make music that was truly his own. In 1971, when he was only 13 years old, Michael released his first solo single, a song called Got to Be There. And this was his very first step into a solo career, and it showed everyone that Michael was more than just the cute young lead singer of the Jackson 5. He was a star in his own right. Then, in 1979, Michael released an album called Off the Wall. This was a huge moment for him as a solo artist. The album was a wonderful mix of pop disco and funk music, and it became an instant success. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You flew to the top of the charts, and Michael's popularity skyrocketed. This was also the beginning of Michael's famous collaboration with the music producer Quincy Jones, a man who would become a very big part of his incredible success. But Michael wanted more. He always wanted more. He wanted to make music that would break boundaries, music that would change pop culture forever. In 1982, he released the album that would make him a global superstar and earn him the title the King of Pop. That album was Thriller. Thriller became, and still is, the best-selling album of all time. It was filled with huge hits like Billie Jean, Beat It, and of course the song Thriller itself. The music video for Thriller was completely groundbreaking. It was more than just a video. It was a short movie with a story, incredible dance moves, scary makeup, and amazing special effects. The famous zombie dance from that video became known all over the world, and people everywhere tried to copy it. Then in 1983, Michael performed his famous moonwalk dance move for the very first time. It happened during a performance of Billie Jean on a big TV special called Motown 25 Yesterday, Today, Forever. When he glided backward across the stage, it looked like he was walking on the moon. The audience gasped. The moonwalk became one of Michael's signature moves, and it left people completely in awe. This was also when Michael's unique style started to take shape. He wore a single white glove, sparkly jackets, white socks with black shoes, and a cool fedora hat. His style became as iconic as his music, and fans everywhere wanted to dress just like him. As Michael's fame grew even bigger, people started to notice that his appearance was changing. He had a skin condition called vitiligo, which causes the skin to lose its color in patches. This led to a lot of speculation and rumors, with some people unkindly saying that he was bleaching his skin. To manage his vitiligo, Michael used makeup to even out his skin tone, which sometimes made him look paler than before. He also had plastic surgery, including nose jobs, because he was apparently very self-conscious about his appearance. Michael's changing looks became a huge topic in the media, and he often felt very misunderstood by the public. During the 1980s and 1990s, Michael had several close friendships with other famous celebrities, including the actress Elizabeth Taylor, the singer Diana Ross, and the actress Brooke Shields. He also dated, but he was always very private about his relationships. Then, in 1994, he shocked the world by marrying Lisa Marie Presley, who was the daughter of the rock and roll king Elvis Presley. Their marriage was followed everywhere by the media, and people were very curious about their relationship. However, after about 2 years, they divorced in 1996. A year later, in 1997, Michael married Debbie Rowe, a nurse who had worked for his dermatologist. Together, they had 2 children, a son, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., who everyone calls Prince, and a daughter, Paris Michael Catherine Jackson. Michael was so happy to become a father. He loved his children more than anything. His marriage to Debbie did not last long, and they divorced in 1999, but Michael was given full custody of his children. He loved them deeply. Later in 2002, Michael had a third child, Prince Michael Jackson II, who he nicknamed Blanket through a surrogate mother. Michael was a very protective father. He tried very hard to give his children a loving, normal, and private life, but it was difficult with the constant media attention. In the 2000s, Michael faced some of his most serious challenges. He was accused of inappropriate behavior, which led to a highly publicized court case. He had to go through a long and very stressful trial, but he was eventually found not guilty of all charges in 2005. This period was extremely difficult for Michael. The negative media coverage took a huge toll on his mental and emotional health. He felt deeply hurt and betrayed by the accusations, and he became more reclusive, choosing to stay away from the public eye. Despite these struggles, Michael remained passionate about his music. He never lost his love for performing. In 2009, he announced a huge comeback tour. It was called This Is It. and it was planned to be a series of 50 concerts in London. Fans around the world were thrilled. They eagerly awaited his return to the stage. Michael spent months rehearsing, working so hard to make the show absolutely unforgettable. Then, on June 25, 2009, the world received shocking and terrible news. Michael Jackson had died. He was only 50 years old. He had suffered a cardiac arrest at his home in Los Angeles. The cause of his death was later found to be an overdose of a powerful sedative which his doctor had prescribed to help him sleep. Michael's sudden death stunned fans, friends, and family all over the world. People could not believe that the king of pop was gone. Millions of fans mourned his death, and tributes poured in from every corner of the globe. His family held a public memorial service on July 7, 2009, at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Many celebrities and close friends paid their respects. His young daughter Paris gave a heartbreaking speech, saying through her tears, "Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine." Even after his death, Michael Jackson's incredible influence on music, dance, and pop culture continues to be felt all around the world. His songs are timeless. His dance moves are still admired and copied by new generations. And he is remembered as one of the greatest performers in history. Michael's life was filled with amazing triumphs and difficult challenges, with great love and deep loneliness. But through it all, he remained completely dedicated to his art. Michael Jackson's story is one of unbelievable talent, hard work, dedication, and an everlasting impact on the world of music. He wasn't just an entertainer. He was a visionary, someone who saw the future and changed what music and dance could be. His life reminds us that even the greatest stars can face darkness, but their light can still shine bright in our memories. Michael Jackson will forever be remembered as the King of Pop, a title that truly captures the incredible mark he left on all of our hearts.